Update 1 on Tropical Storm Fernand, currently the Atlantic's newest tropical storm, which has just formed in the past hour or two, currently with winds of 45 miles per hour and a pressure of 1003 millibars. Position is 19.2 degrees north, 95.8 degrees west, which puts it just off the Mexican coastline, likely to move inland as a tropical storm in the next few hours, and then eventually dissipate well inland in Mexico. Tropical storm warnings currently in effect from Veracruz to Tampico in Mexico. That's along the Gulf of Mexico coastline. Not too large a tropical storm warning area, but it still is a tropical warning nonetheless. And indeed, tropical storm conditions are likely for the next few hours, especially along the coastline there. And indeed, rains from the storm may lead to some flooding, some localized flooding in the area along the Mexican coastline there, as well as those tropical storm force winds, and of course higher gusts as well. The sea surface temperatures, if those are still relevant where the storm is at the moment, around 29-30 degrees Celsius, which is certainly warm enough for sustained tropical cyclone development, though what's going to kill the current storm is land interaction, obviously. This one's a little bit dated, only a few hours, but it shows what the intensity models thought of the storm before it was classified as a tropical storm. Most of them didn't really predict it to become a tropical storm, though we did have one outlier, the HWRF model, which did predict the tropical storm to form and reach peak wind speeds of around 50-55 miles per hour before it moved inland over Mexico, and 45 miles per hour, it almost verified that one. The shear comparisons for the storm as it moves inland, shear is likely to increase. You can see here most of them taking it up to around 20-30 knots as time goes on in about 2 or 3 days, so that will certainly deteriorate the storm much quicker than it would normally. The sea surface temperatures, as said earlier, around 29-30 degrees generally, which is certainly warm enough for sustained development, but of course the land interaction will certainly interfere with that, and the relative humidity remaining high at the moment, but gradually dropping down as the storm moves more inland over Mexico over the next few days, but at the moment around 80%, which has certainly led the storm to intensify for that small time that it was over water. You can see the latest satellite imagery then to get a better view of what's going on where the storm is at the moment. This is the past few hours in the Atlantic. You can see how the storm has organised itself and become a tropical storm just before making landfall in Mexico, with some intense rainfall occurring just off the coastline there, or along the coast you could say, I suppose, and possibly moving inland in those latest frames, which will certainly cause some torrential rains over that tropical storm warning region, and possibly of course some flash flooding and maybe some more prolonged flooding as well, maybe, as a result. So let's take a look at the world tropics then. As of August 26th, there currently are a few storms, or X-storms, active. Fernand is the only one that's still active at the moment. X-Evo, which is a post-tropical storm, and X-Pero as well, which is also a post-tropical storm in the Pacific, and 91W, which is expected to form in the western Pacific over the next day or two. But in the Atlantic, things remaining fairly quiet at this time. No other invests active at the moment. There are a few little things here and there, a few little bursts of cloud that may develop into tropical disturbances, but nothing that is expected to form over the next few days, at least not yet. So let's take a look at 2013 compared then. So far we are the 135th busiest season on record, with 6 tropical storms. You can see how it sticks out like a sore thumb. No hurricanes so far this year, but the 135th place out of the 163 or so on record since records began, reliable records began in 1851. So there you have it, 6 tropical storms, no hurricanes, no major hurricanes so far. And don't forget, you can track this storm and indeed any others that form or indeed currently active at the website force13.com/stormtracking.html. That's the main page for it. And then that you're presented with the main storm tracking page with the map and the current storms, including invests as well, and the tables at the top and bottom which show their intensities and any current warnings that are in effect. Obviously we have tropical storm warnings in effect for the Mexican coastline. No watches, only the warning at this time, and those will likely be downgraded as the storm weakens inland over Mexico. But don't let your guard down, there could be some flooding that occurs from this storm. And there'll be another update on this storm probably in the next 24 hours, not sure quite when, but we'll have it for you in the next 24 hours during the day on Monday 26th of August.